Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel for a brand new video, and in today's video we are going to be unboxing and taking a look at the NUX DM7X. NUX is a company that makes electric drum sets, and the DM7X is one of their digital drum systems, so it's an electric kit, and it's right in front of me in these boxes. Now I'm really excited about this product arriving. NUX was super nice to send out this kit for Lindsay and I to use. We're actually gonna be doing 2 videos with it. I'm first gonna unbox it for you in this video, and then after that, Lindsay and I are gonna do a 3rd part to the Teaching My Girlfriend a Drum series that you guys all really seem to enjoy. Then following those 2 videos, after I'm done with it, I'm actually gonna be giving this drum set to my neighbor, who has an 8-year-old daughter who's actually one of my drum students. So right now, up until this point, she's been practicing on an adult-sized drum set, and that's posed some issues because being 8 years old, she can't really reach up to the toms on where they're mounted off the kick drum. She can't really reach the cymbals, they're too high. So what they've done for the lessons is they've just lowered the pieces that they can lower, which really is the snare and the hi-hat, so that she can play patterns, and we're learning basic grooves just on those 3 pieces: hi-hat, snare, and kick. But I want to get into teaching her songs and get her moving around the kit with some fills, and in order to do that, she's got to be able to reach the rest of the drum set. So that's why this is such a great solution for a new player. She's going to be able to adjust this down to her size, but then because of the way this kit is built, the way it's set up, the way the frame works, it can grow with her, which is super exciting, and I can't wait to see her face because it's a surprise. She doesn't know about the kit, so I'm going to be giving it to her because this kit can be her kit growing up and sort of learn as she grows. It can kind of grow with her, which we'll talk about in a second here when we get the drum set open, and I'll demonstrate what I'm talking about as to how sort of configurable these kind of electric kits are. The other thing too about it is the drum set she has is like, it doesn't sound good, but an electric kit always sounds good. So that'll be sick. And then of course, like the big thing for me when I was coming up, I was 50% electric kit, 50% acoustic, because I didn't always have a space where I could be playing an acoustic around the clock. And sometimes you want to practice late at night. Sometimes you want to get up early and practice. For a lot of my sort of getting my YouTube channel going, I spent a lot of early mornings getting out of bed way before the sun so that I could get on my electric kit and be working on a song for the channel before I would go to work or something like that. So those types of situations, these are the perfect solution for. So guys, with all that said, let's bust open these boxes and take a look at what NUX was nice enough to send us out. Right away, the first thing out of the box, we just have the DM7 user manual. There's some configure information on the back as to setting up the frame and putting it together, but a lot of it looks pretty self-explanatory. This is the 4th electric drum set that I've unboxed and set up, just having 3 in the past, so I don't think I'm gonna need a whole lot of that. So there's the first piece I've unboxed. That's the actual sound module, or the drum module, the brain of the electric kit. Everything's gonna be plugged into this guy, and then this is going to actually run the digital side of it, so you can have outputs and stuff like that. We'll take a look more at this and all that it features here in a sec after I get the rest of the kit out. I'm actually super impressed with the construction of this pad. This looks very similar to the Roland V system, but these heads were actually made, and it says there at the bottom of it, they're actually made by Remo, which is super cool. Around the outside of the hoop, around the outside of the rim, there's actually lugs here, so you can tighten this. It doesn't change the pitch or anything, like it's not tuning like a regular drum, but you can tighten the mesh head if you want it at a different tension, just to adjust the feel for it while you're playing. 14-inch cymbal pad. Whoa. Of all the electric kits I've owned, this is the biggest cymbal pad that any of them actually came with. This looks like a ride cymbal. I've never owned a E-kit with a dedicated ride cymbal. I wonder if this is dual triggered. We'll have to see what that binds to on default when we actually get the brain plugged in. Accessory box. So these are pretty standard across most E-kits. This guy here actually is a little bag. We have a drum key, but then also in the bag there are these plastic hoops that you can attach to the frame of the drum set, and it's for cable management, interestingly enough. So you actually thread the cables through these guys so that you can keep them nice and condensed to the kit and they're not dangling around the kit. In the rest of this bag, I have, these are the mounting parts. So these will slide into sockets, and then you can put the drums down on top of them. Also inside the accessory box, I have an auxiliary 1/8 inch stereo cable, and then I've got the snake. So this is pretty standard across E-kits as well. This snake will be one connector to the brain, and then a whole assortment of 1/8 inch stereo connectors that will run to all of the triggers and all the different pads. On this particular kit, the actual cables here, they're all color-coded and they're labeled. So in this one, we have all the actual cymbal arms. This one's a little bit more heavy duty. I think this one will be for that ride. Oh wait, no, there's two of them. So these will be for the right and left crash, and then one of the others will be to prop up the ride cymbal to the far right. That's something else that's really cool about this kit. When I was looking at the pictures of it online, it actually comes with 4 cymbal pads, which is super sick, considering the majority of sets that I've had only came with 3. 1 hi-hat and then a ride cymbal and a crash cymbal. 12-inch cymbal pad. And followed by a second 12-inch, a cymbal pad. Whoa, that was aggressive. Oh, what the? Oh, okay. A third cymbal pad. Okay, cool. So I guess that the hi-hat is gonna be just one of these cymbal pads as well. I think these 3 are all the same. Yeah, so these 3 you can use for whatever. So 1 hi-hat, 1 left crash, 1 right crash, or China, or bind it to whatever. And then the 14-inch, the wider one, that's probably gonna be the ride cymbal. We got a tom, it looks like. So same idea, lugs again, so we can adjust the tension of the actual mesh head made by Remo. And another, one more at the bottom. So there we go, we got here in the stack, 1, 2, plus 3. That's 3 toms, 2 racks, and a floor. Or if you want to do 1 up, 2 down, you can do that because the sizes and the actual triggers themselves aren't specific to each one of these, so they're all just pads and you can put them wherever you want. And then the only bigger one is the actual snare drum, which is slightly larger than these tom mesh heads. The final piece in this box is the actual kick pad and hi-hat control pedal. Whoa, this is really heavy. I'm actually really impressed with this. So there's the actual kick pad. I like that this is rubber. A lot of e-kits come with a mesh in this area, and that means you can't use mesh beaters on mesh because mesh on mesh ruins itself. But this being rubber, you can use any surface of beater, it doesn't matter. We have the 1/4 inch in the side here. That's where the actual cable is gonna go to sense the trigger. And then we'll put this guy aside with the rest of it for now. Oh, wow, I was not expecting this. That's an actual kick pedal. I've never purchased an electric kit that came with a kick pedal. Usually it's buy your own kick pedal, buy your own hi-hat stand, but everything's included in the set, which is super sick because this is like the perfect kit to start on. You don't have to buy anything additional. I don't think there's a throne though. You'd probably have to buy a throne. So there's the actual kick pedal. I mean, yeah, it's not, this is no Tama Speed Cobra or no trick pedal, but the fact that it actually comes with a pedal is super impressive. Never seen that in an electric kit before. So this is the actual hi-hat foot switch. In electric kits, there's typically 2 types of hi-hat configurations. One is an actual hi-hat stand with 2 pads on it, and when you close the pads using the hi-hat foot switch on the actual stand, it's gonna squeeze the pads together like a real hi-hat would, and the pads will sense that they're touching. Other option, the more common option, if you're in like more affordable drum set range, is this guy here. So this is actually just gonna plug into the brain, and this will be the sensor that determines what sound comes out of the hi-hat pad. So the hi-hat pad's feel isn't gonna change like it would in the other version where there's actually 2 pieces of rubber. But what's cool about this being a trigger, if you don't have a double bass drum, you can actually, in a lot of cases, bind, and I imagine this as well, you can bind these to sound like a kick drum, just like the other mesh head, the actual kick drum. So if you don't have a double bass pedal and you wanna like mess around with some double bass grooves, you can totally do that using this as the second pedal, which is kinda neat. All right, so that's it for the first box. I imagine the second box is just gonna be the frame because that's all that I haven't seen yet. So let's move that over and check that out. Yo, no way. They included sticks. That's pretty cool. So far, this system is really impressing us. The fact that you can buy this and literally have everything you need to get going is pretty cool, man. Including the drumsticks, which is crazy. Wow. So there you guys go. So far, I got the frame set up, as you can see, and I brought the throne out and my sticks just to check the height of this snare, because when you're setting these up, it's really great to have a reference point to where you actually are gonna feel comfortable when the rest of the kit is set up around something. So now that I have the snare in place, I know exactly where my feet are gonna fall. If I sit up a little bit closer, I know exactly where my feet are gonna fall, so I know where the pedals need to be. I know where the toms roughly should be as well, and where the cymbals should be. So there we go. That's why I've done this, and now I'm gonna continue setting up the rest of the kit. Something else I want to point out real quick when setting up this drum set, electric kits, because of the size of the pads, it's very, very easy when setting up a kit like this to make the distances between very, very small. So what I like to do with my electric kits is I like to try and make the distances a lot bigger than what they would be if you just had everything kind of bunched together close to one another. And the reason for that is I like to have the setup as close to the same sort of distances and feel as the acoustic kit. So when I transition back into the acoustic kit, the distances that I've been practicing on the electric still remain on the acoustic. Something I'm noticing as I put this together, I'm super impressed at how sturdy the kit is. Now that I've gotten all the lugs tight, it's like, it really holds itself, which is really good. Every drummer knows the drumming experience in a lot of ways is really defined by how sturdy the hardware is that you're on. If you're drumming and your snare starts moving, your kick drum starts sliding forward, your cymbals are shaking and the stands are moving away from you, or the cymbals are falling forward, like it doesn't matter, whatever's going wrong with the hardware, it's the biggest grievance in any case at a drum set. It doesn't matter if it's an acoustic or an electric. So putting this together and feeling how sturdy the frame is right away, really excited to actually finish and get to play it. Something I'm noticing as I put in the lower portion of what will become the left cymbal boom is this right here. You see that? How this is literally just a lock like that. Typically on electric kits that I've owned in the past, this bracket, this point, is usually a twist lock, so a twist clamp. So you have to twist it a bunch and get it really snug. Not in the case with this kit. You literally just take the lower portion, slide it in like that, and when you have it at a depth that you prefer, you like, just clamp it shut like that. And it's sturdy, it's not coming out, which is pretty cool. They actually named this. This is called the Quick Disassembling Cymbal Arm Lock. So I have all of the pads in place. I've got the hi-hat foot switch on the floor here below the brain. I'm ready at this point to actually take the snake that I've cabled into the back of the brain, and I'm going to run all of the cables to the appropriate corresponding pads. As I mentioned before, the snake is color-coded and does have labels as well on the snake. Something that pretty much all electric kits have across the board is each individual cable is lengthed based on the distance from the brain, which is really cool because it definitely helps with cable management. If you have a shorter cable between things that are closer to the brain, then there's less dangle and less cable in the way that you have to worry about. So in order to do this, I'm just gonna take the first one that I see, which is Tom 1, and that doesn't make sense, so hang on one sec. I need the hi-hat first, or the snare. Here's the hi-hat here. I'm gonna pull this guy out. Like that. There's the hi-hat, and now we'll just go underneath and plug into the side of the hi-hat, right there, like that. And then we'll just rinse and repeat for all of them. That's Tom 1. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and cabled the entire kit. Only issue I ran into was this cable to the ride cymbal is a little short. The reason for that is the brain, they have online listed, it should be inside of the hi-hat. But I put the hi-hat inside instead of the brain because I wanted the hi-hat a little bit closer to the snare. So I put the brain on the outside, which just meant that this was a little stretched, but that shouldn't be a problem because it's not really gonna interfere with anything. It's not in the way of anything. The beater from the kick is not gonna hit it. So I'm just gonna leave it alone because I much prefer that cable just be a little bit more in the way and have the hi-hat closer to the snare drum. The other thing I'm noticing too is this crash cymbal is gonna be cabled with an additional auxiliary cable. This is a male-to-male 1/4" straight connector. It's a mono connector. Sorry, that's not the one I need to use. I shouldn't be using the mono connector because as far as I can tell, all the other instrument specific cables are stereo connectors. So just in the case that some of these are dual triggered, I am gonna use the stereo L, and then I assume that the additional mono is probably just for like an auxiliary if you wanna add another pad down the line, because these kits a lot of the time are set up so that you can buy add-ons and add them to the kit. And there we go. With that done, now the kit's set up. Oh, I just gotta put the kick drum on, and then we can plug it in and take a look at the brain. I'm really excited to hear how it sounds, and I'm really excited to get to mess with the brain a little bit and see what kind of features it has on it. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to plug in the cable into the computer, the iMac in my studio that's recording my audio on the lav mic, so I can add the drum set feed to the video, and then after that, we'll take a look at how the kit sounds. I'll play it first, and then we'll mess around with the different bindings on the kit. So that's the first kit. When I turned the drum set on, I didn't do anything, it just came up as pop. Something that's going on in this wheel over here is when I turn it, there's automatic select other kits. So I went from the pop kit, now this is the rock kit, check it out. I go one more to the right, we got the metal kit. There's the jazz kit. Here's the folk kit, the preset folk kit. Oh my God. All right, so now I want to just try some of the stuff on the Brain right away. We have these knobs here, so there's one with overdrive. I'm gonna engage that a little bit. So here's the kit without overdrive. And then here's adding some overdrive. Same thing with the compression. Here's the kit without. And then here's with the compression added. I also have a click track. Basic click track, basic idea, right? And then, of course, you can record yourself here. So if I hit, I'm not sure how to do it, record. Recording 1, record ready, hit drum pad. Oh, there we go. So if I play now, last thing I want to check on this, these quick dials, we have reverb. Let's check out reverb and tune. So last two things real quick. So here's without reverb or tune. Here's adding reverb to the snare. All right, so here's a beat without reverb. Here's a beat with reverb. And then last thing I want to try is the tune function. So here's a snare without tune. Here's a snare with some tune on it, whatever that means. I'm not actually sure what that's changing. I'll have to look more into that guy. But yeah, there you guys have it. That's the basic functions of the kit. A couple things I wanted to mention they had as important points. There's a Bluetooth function with this kit. It allows you to connect your mobile phone via Bluetooth, can connect to a drum module to play songs, which is really cool. So you can actually play into the kit wirelessly and then play over the songs. You don't even need a cable to add it. But there is an aux in. So if you wanted to, you have an auxiliary in port that you can put anything into, any like phone device or anything with an 1/8 inch port, because the aux in port is an 1/8 inch connector. You can also change the tone of each pad. We kind of covered that. Pads too, they're stereo triggers. You can tell because when I play the ride cymbal, you can hear a bell here, and you can hear the actual, the center of the cymbal here, and then you can hear the actual crash, like the edge here. So that indicates that there's multiple channels taking information from the cymbal. And that's really cool because what that means is when you go into the Brain, you're gonna be able to bind different sounds to different places. So these rims can have different sounds in the actual heads, and then around the kit, same thing. So if I wanted something really goofy on the bell, and then a regular ride cymbal on the other two pieces of the cymbal, you can totally do stuff like that. So there you guys have it. This has been the Nux DM7X digital drum system. I've really enjoyed making this video. I had a ton of fun playing the kit. It's a lot of fun to play. Reminds me of a lot of the other kits that I've played, and it definitely held up despite being how affordable this guy is. So you can check Nux and all of their products out down in the description below. And then with all that said, thank you so much for checking out this video, and I will see you guys all very soon with something new.